G'day, it's Mark and welcome back to the channel. And this is part 2 in our P5 LTD restoration. Hope you follow along. Seems to be a lot of interest in the car, so let's check it out. So I thought I'll have a close look at the car. As I mentioned, I think in the earlier video, part 1, it's got a Fairlane boot lid. Now the Fairlane boot lid, it's the same as the LTD, there's no difference, except you've got FORD, so that has to come off. Now in the console, very luckily, I mentioned in the other episode that there's normally a flip-up emblem here in red with L for LTD, plus there's a badge here that says LTD by Ford. And I thought I'd have to try and source those. Very hard to get the flip-up emblem. There is some rust here in the boot lid, but generally it looks fine. It'll come up, I think it'll come up really well. If I go to here, just open up the car. It's got the remote boot release, which does work. You can see the gas in the back. I'm going to disconnect that and we'll put it back on fuel, but at the moment I'll leave it as is because it's running on gas, so I can move the car around. It's got 2 spare rims in here, 15-inch rims. It looks like there's some power window motors in here as well. It's actually the correct colour boot lid. It's got the jack instructions there. Some rust down here, you can see there's a hole there. That's a relatively simple repair, that needs to be done. The tail lights as well, these are very expensive. It's missing a bit of trim here, that's a bit loose. It's got a crack here and also a crack here. I can cut that out, cut this out and get even off another tail light, a flat piece of tail light. I can just cut that out and I can actually just glue that in there, or I can even put a piece of plastic over the top once I've done that, so it's got a consistent appearance. These are in different sections, like 1, 2, 3. I've seen these up for $2.5 or something for a new old stock tail light, so I'm not going to spend that. So I can fix that, I think, relatively easily. The car didn't come with overriders, but I wouldn't mind getting some overriders, just keeping damage to a minimum, especially things like the tail lights here. It also had a tow bar, so I'd definitely fit another tow bar to it, just again for protection. This is the original registration on the car. I've actually found the original books in there, had the original owner's details, registration, first service records, down to 700 kilometres when it was brand new, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, there's some rust in here, that needs to be fixed. Love these fins. I think that's a really cool aspect of the design. And I love these, sort of like this vent here with like an indicator and a sort of a tail light or a side marker light. So that's pretty cool. The mouldings are missing on the side here. They need to be replaced, side marker mouldings. My mate Tony from Tony's Car Care in America, he likes the side mouldings on his Lincoln Town cars. So do I. I don't like, some people do delete the mouldings. That's how the car came, so I intend getting those and refitting them. This is the LPG, the gas. Again, temporarily, maybe I'll leave it there. If it was behind the fuel filler, it would be a lot better, but back in the day they used to just put a hole in the quarter panel, so that will be replaced with new metal and filled in and fixed. The vinyl roof, it's a cavalry twill, like a Mark III Lincoln, same material. It's got this sort of couple of marks here, but the rest of the roof actually is in pretty good condition. Heated glass, and there's more limousine, a smaller back window as part of the LTD package. So just walking around the car, rear quarters, there's rust and body filler here, that needs to be fixed. The mouldings aren't bad. My mate's got a spare side, a wheel arch moulding, so I might grab that. It's got some filler in here, that needs to be done. Door's actually pretty good. Rust-wise, not too bad at all, and trim's quite nice. So, those Lincoln type mirrors, the wipers are in the car. They got a new wiper motor fitted. I've actually ordered from the US, I think 2 Thunderbird hubcaps and I think 3 LTD Brougham caps. So they've got a different centre, but It's the turbine, extruded turbine caps. They're very, very heavy. They were on the early series cars. These are the correct caps for this model. I will leave these caps on this car, but I'm going to do a set. I'm going to take the inserts out, which have Thunderbird or the Ford emblem, and I'm going to get a plastic disc, and I'm going to paint it to match the exterior of the car. So then I'll have the same hubcaps as the early series. So I'll just have 2 sets of caps. Here's the front of the car. This looks really cool. I love this. These concealed headlights. I mentioned before, that's the original rego on the car. I'm taking these off. This is a metal grille. I think this even might be the 1970 Ford Galaxy, the American grille. I reckon that's just picked up from the Ford parts bin. Then you can see that LTD by Ford. These pop up, and these actually do work, which is cool. It's got a screw in it there. Shouldn't have that there. So I did notice that it's got like the leather lower and then like the nylon upper. The interior is actually in really good condition. The headlining looks really nice. It's got the, although there's a bit of a mark there, cut there, I can probably fix that. It's got the little courtesy lights, the grab handles. Very nice. The rear armrest, little crest in the top of the back seat there. Heaps of leg room, 121-inch wheelbase. Holden and Chrysler had nothing to compare with that. You can see also the air conditioning vents, the ashtray, and the cigarette lighter, which is missing in the back. Plus you've got mat pockets as well in the back of the front seats. You've also got down here the carpeted lower, and then these lights. Again, I think they're off the parts bin from the US cars. Go to the front there. I think, again, my mate Tony was asking about the power window switches. I think they're the same probably as the American 68 LTD. Tony would probably tell me if that's the case. Bit of rust in the bottom of the door there, but look, it's definitely well worth fixing up. Adjustable mirrors. These are like the Lincoln mirrors. I think Olds 98 mentioned that. It needs a little toggle switch there, which is missing. There's no rust down in here, which is good. And in the bottom of the pillars, that also looks nice and clean, so that's a positive. Seats definitely needs work, but you know, most of it's there. So there's a split in the bottom there. Console is nice with the instrumentation. I've got a sun blind on it at the moment just to keep the, we'll just keep the sun off it, but how's that for a comprehensive instrumentation, really? I mean, that's one of the best instrumentation or dashboards, I reckon, on any Australian car. It's got the nice padded dashboard as well. And check that out. It's got the clock, 24-hour clock, temperature gauge, oil gauge, volts, fuel, and then speedometer in kilometres per hour and miles an hour, 140 mile speedo. We've also got the switch here for the headlights. The concealed headlights do work. The vent down the bottom here, but it's got this very cool kind of wraparound design. I'm not sure, so there's an ashtray there. I'm not sure what goes up in here. I have to look at something's missing in there, whatever it is. And these are these cool aircraft like levers, you know, hot, warm, cool, and then screen, floor, off, fresh, and max. Like really beautifully done. They feel really nice to use too. And then off, low, medium, high. Just like you're in an aircraft with little arrows. So this says temperature on here if you look up closely. This one has AC and heater on it. And then that one says fan. So here's the rear demister here. Cigarette lighter here. There's spotlights on the car which are not standard. I'm going to take them off. But that's the switch for that. Then you've got the glove box. As I said, original owner's manual was in there, which I've taken home. This is off here, but I can actually take this trim off, reattach it, and then put a reinforcement behind it. Little buttons are missing off the seats, but I know through a mate of mine, this lady makes those up. So I'll get that all redone. And yeah, looks pretty cool. This is just for the LPG. Obviously it was fitted a long time ago, but I'll leave it on temporarily to get the car running, but eventually it'll just be on fuel, petrol, you know, the beautiful 351. It doesn't have the original Ford radio in it, so this old AWA radio. I'd say that's been in there for quite a while. It's an AM FM. The car originally would have come with just probably an AM radio cassette, I would imagine. So that's sort of probably an 80s upgrade, I'd imagine. Rim blow steering wheel. Squeeze this here. That's where the horn works. American style wheel. Funnily enough, I think someone mentioned it in the comments. A number of these had a little Mercury Cougar badge in there on Landaus and LTDs. They were meant to have this, but Ford obviously got a batch of wheels that had the Cougar emblem on there, and they just used it. They just put them on the cars. They didn't bother trying to change it. Then you've got the center console here, with a really nice chrome handle here. And in the back, I was wrapped to find this. That's the original badge for the rear. Very hard to get. This is, I won't show the address, but it's like a little mirror. And it's got the lady's name who was the original owner in there. And there's a little diary here from 2004 as well. And then in the back, here's the LTD badge for the boot. So that has to be reattached. There was also a fuse cover. So that has to be refitted. Another spare key. I'm not quite sure where that is from, or even if it's for this car. I don't know what that is. Does anyone know what that is? I don't think it's from the car. And it could be something to do with the gas, I don't know. Then this little surround here, that goes over there. I've actually bought 4 new surrounds anyway. I didn't realise that was in here, but I think it's still... it's missing one anyway. So I intend taking it all apart, the interior, pull out the carpet, just make sure. It's got a bit of a musty smell about it. So I obviously want that all nice and perfect condition. Maybe this said alternator or something like that, or generator. It'll be alternator, not generator. So, yeah, just a really cool car. Love it. Again, I know it needs plenty of work, but just having one and having the opportunity to try and restore it. I've just noticed down there that it's missing its brake pedal rubber, but my mate's, he's got a wrecked one. It's got the brake pedal there, so I might grab that. So there you have it. Pretty cool. Then the engine, there we go. 351, I think it's 290 horsepower, high compression V8. Also it's got a auto trans cooler in there as well, which is good. I drove it a short distance yesterday. That cap is completely cactus. I don't know if I'll even pull that out. It's going to fall apart, I reckon. But anyway, it's running on gas. Paint code V, which is Apollo Blue. And yeah, it's nice clean. And as I said, I'll leave it on gas initially, but then I'll get it back. I'll get the original air cleaner. The LTDs and Landaus had like a chrome or stainless finish air cleaner lid, not the blue. You do see some restored with the blue. That is incorrect for the Landau and LTD. So, but yeah, as I said, a lot of work, but just to have one, to have the opportunity to fix it up is well worth it. I've got the radiator cap off as old as Methuselah, but it's got plenty of coolant in there, which is good. Again, all this stuff will get replaced, you know. Got to check all the fluids and power steering. Plenty of oil, looks nice and clean, which is good. The guy I bought it off was a car enthusiast. He had a few other cars as well. That's where I think the wiper motor needs to go. That's in the car, I think, in the back. So, you know, he checked the fluids and things. Yeah, plenty of power steering fluid. As I say, I drove it a short distance, drove fine. They're very cool. Needs a bonnet emblem. If anyone has a original P5 LTD bonnet emblem, let me know. I'm after one. Some rust in the bonnet there. You know, it's had some filler here. This all needs to be done. New lens, it's got a crack in it, so I probably need to replace that. If I see one for sale, keep an eye out. Also the aerial, that's not correct, so I need to replace that. But it's pretty good, I reckon. There's the wipers in there. It's got a fire extinguisher, but it's not rusty down here, and it's not rusty down here, which is really good. They're the nice door sills. There's a guy that's offering me some of these, so I might even look at buying those. But nice chrome on all the door frames. Bit of rust in the dog leg, but only surface rust, and there's some rust up here too in the in that roof pillar there. But it's flat steel. It's pretty simple repair. I can say that because my mate Brian will do the work. But it's looking terrific. Love these Ford seat belts too. Same as Dad's Galaxy. Exactly the same. There's a bit of trim off something. I don't know what that's for, but put that in the console. So like any new project, it's always pretty exciting when you see what the potential is. So anyway, that's just a bit of an overview of the actual car itself, and I'll keep you up to date as we do the restoration, and yeah, you can follow along, so please make sure you give the episode a like and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future updates. So thanks again. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.